order. We have lots of good news to talk about, and so I'd like to go ahead and get us started. We have lots of wonderful agenda today, and we have some very special guests. Our agenda today includes reports from Chancellor Henry regarding Virginia legislative activity, student housing numbers, and fall enrollment. We have our Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Gary Johnson, is going to present the Quality Enhancement Plan, which is a requirement of the upcoming accreditation reaffirmation process. We have our faculty consulting member, Karen Carter, who will highlight recent faculty events and activities. We have our UVA-wise student member of the board, Lane Bush, and Student Government Association President William Rudeseal. I got to have dinner with them last night. They are delightful. I'm so excited to have them here to talk to us about student and SGA items on the campus of WISE. Their bios can be found in the board packet. We also have the chair of the board, Marcia Gillum, and we're very glad to have her here with us today. And then finally, the big news that I have to announce is that at the 2025 College at WISE commencement, we are going to have a very special graduation speaker. Governor Glenn Youngkin is going to give the commencement address. So if you have not been to commencement at WISE, it is one of my very favorite events of the year. It is a true feel-good experience and a wonderful event. So if you're able to come this year, it should be extra special. So I'm going to turn it over to Chancellor Henry and Marcia Gillum, and I'm going to let them present to us all the rest of the great news.
Thank you so much, Chairman Pillion. And I'm actually going to let Chairperson Marcia Gillum make a few remarks to the board. And Marcia is a 1982 alum of what was then Clinch Valley College, and she is a wonderful business leader in our community. And does a lot of community service through board service, both in Southwest Virginia and across the Commonwealth. So, Marcia.
Thank you, Chancellor, and thank you all for letting me be here today. I'm very honored to be here and to bring greetings from the College Board at UVA-WISE. I know I speak on their behalf. We want to thank you for all you all have done to enable our Chancellor to lead us through this enrollment explosion that we've had the last few years at the college. It's so exciting to see. I've been involved with the college for probably 25 years, and I'm a first-generation college graduate, so it was very important to me to be able to give back to the college, and thus I've given 25 plus years and will continue to do so. But it's an exciting time to be at UVA-WISE and to see all the growth and the plans that we have for the future. Just makes it even more exciting with the new graduate programs and the new undergraduate planning that has come along. It's just a wonderful time, and I'd just like to say thank you on behalf of all of our students, our region, and our college for what you do to help make our wonderful school even better. So thank you for letting me be here today.
Thank you so much. Okay, are there any questions before I get started? Okay, so briefly, JJ did a great overview of where we are in the legislative session. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about the impacts for UVA-WISE. So right now where we sit pending approval by the governor, we would get an increase of $482,000, which is for affordable access. As you know, UVA-WISE has kept tuition flat last year and this year. So our hope was to be able to continue to support the college moving forward. These funds are currently slated in the budget as one-time funds. So with the pending 3% increase in salary that we'll have to fund and the bonus dollars that we'll have to fund, we're looking very closely at our budget, and I'm pretty thankful that we're growing because that growth will allow us to meet those requirements that are coming from the legislature as well. And then there's an additional $500,000 again in one-time funds to the college, which is to support enrollment retention and tuition moderation. So again, we will incorporate those funds on a one-time basis as we move forward. And as you know, we're coming into a 6-year planning time, so this summer we will be making plans to move forward, and we'll have to look closely at all the budgets. And you will be approving our budget at the next meeting as well. So we are trying to incorporate all of these pieces into that. For UVA-wise, the 1.5% bonus is a $400,000 impact to us. And then in addition to that, the 3% increase is close to $1 million. So those have big budgetary impacts for us at WISE as well. So we're working through all of those pieces as we get ready for the next steps. On the capital side, we do have planning dollars for renovation of Darden Hall. On the UVA-WISE campus, Darden has served as the home for the nursing program, the education program, computer science, mathematics, software engineering. As you know, nursing moved into a brand new facility, so we have some capacity there to do some new things. We've added some new programs, data analytics being one. Our business program is growing with hospitality and tourism. So really looking to shift and what we will do in Darden Hall, which is in big need of a renovation right now. We also have some funds that were given to us for pre-planning, and that is for a new academic building. With our enrollment growth, we do see needs in the next 5 years for a new academic building. And so we will be managing that and doing that planning over the next year, and we'll be coming back to the board to let you know where we are there. So I think those are the big things on the budget for us. With that, I'm going to move to the next good news slide. You've seen in your book housing. Right now we are at capacity. So our housing, 601 beds is the official number that we can accommodate. As you can see, in the fall we had 640 students, so we kind of packed them in and added beds to spaces so that there would be room for them. You'll see we are continuing to project enrollment growth. We will have a nice incoming class of new students, which is larger than historical, so we're looking at how we will accommodate students this coming fall. We are working with a private firm who are building some townhouses adjacent to the college property. And so we have an MOA with them that we will use that for our housing. So we'll expand with 32 additional beds in the fall with the ability to add another of those units for future needs. While we are working with the architects through our master planning process to actually design a new housing unit for on campus as we move ahead. So those are our plans to meet the housing needs as we move forward. But it is an exciting time as we accomplish these things at the college. Are there any questions about that? These are the fall admission numbers. And as the team and WISE like to make sure I have the latest data, so this is about 2 weeks old, the 254 number, which is the number of students who are confirmed to come to the college this morning, is 290 students. So that's exciting. And for the past 2 years, we've hovered just below 500 new students and just above 500 new students. So we're on target to be above 500 new students this fall. So this will be the third cohort of a larger number of students coming through the college, and will help us to continue to build that enrollment as we move ahead. One thing you will notice is that on the admission side, so the application number has dropped this year. So it was over 5,000. This year it's 4,400. I've talked to Jeff about that, and what he says that is that we're actually doing a better job in admissions, and some of the students that we admitted in the past were not real, they weren't going to come to WISE. And so we're admitting students who we feel have the capacity to come. And then we're doing something really unique. So that's a much larger pool of students than we've ever dealt with before on the admitted side. So we are using AI, and our AI person's name is TJ. And so TJ has been given all of the information, fed our information about degrees and programs and housing. And so that is, we're targeting those admitted students to get them information, allow them to ask questions. And then once, or the applications, and then once they get to admitted, our folks in admissions are really working with those groups of students. The other thing that we're doing is through financial aid, really working now. About half of the admitted students, that 1,500 number, have submitted FAFSAs. So our folks in financial aid are reaching out to the other half of those students to make sure that they get their FAFSA completed, because we're already awarding financial aid for the fall, which, as you can imagine, is the big thing that allows students to confirm and say they're going to come to the college. So this continues to be an exciting time, and looking forward to bringing in another robust class of students in the fall. And then I will wrap up my report to the board by just saying that I'm pleased to announce that Rector Harding has decided to come to the college in a couple of weeks. So on March 23rd, the rector will be in Wise. He is going to be teaching some classes in our business program on Monday and Tuesday. And I understand that the department chair has actually given you a pretty robust schedule. So there might be a little bit of negotiations going on.
There's going to be some negotiations. I've never taught 5 classes in a row. 5 different topics.
5 different topics. So anyway, but we're excited to have Robert in Wise, interacting with our students and faculty, and spending time with the leadership team. Yes.
I'm really excited. Thank you.
I'll just say, Marcia, I really appreciate meeting the chance to meet you this morning. I've heard a lot about you, and I know what a leader you've been in your community and what an incredible asset you've been to UVA Wise. So I really appreciate you traveling to Charlottesville to be with us today, and the chance to talk with you about your passion for UVA Wise. So I just wanted to thank you personally for that.
Yes.
Okay, and at this point, I'm going to invite our provost, Gary Johnson, to come and talk to you about our quality enhancement plan. Thanks, Marcia.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you. Director Hardy, I imagine there may be a hidden agenda behind the 5 classes. I'm guessing the chair may want to introduce you to the 4-4 teaching load that our faculty.
I'm happy to do it. It'll be great. I'm really excited. It'll be a great time.
We're looking forward to having you. Good morning, everyone. I am the provost, and I'm really excited to talk about what we're doing for our SACSCOC reaccreditation. We are kind of on the front end of our 10-year reaffirmation cycle, so we're busy right now writing to the standards so that we can get that report submitted to SACS, and then we will have our visit in 2026. So I think we're making good progress, but as you all know, as part of that reaffirmation process, we have to submit what is called a QEP, Quality Enhancement Plan. And so I want to talk a few minutes today about what we're doing for that. Our focus for the QEP is the first year experience. We are an institution that is intent on giving students an opportunity for success. And our students tend to look a little bit different than the students in Charlottesville. We have a lot of Pell eligible students. We have a lot of first generation students. And so that onboarding process in that first year is critical for us. And one of the things that we want to focus on is the persistence of our students, making sure that they stay with us from year 1 to year 2 and ultimately through to graduation. And so that is going to be the focus of our QEP, helping them to make a good start at UVA Wise, which hopefully will lead to a strong finish for them. So our goals, as you can see on the slide, our academic transition community integration, cohort cohesion, right? We want to make sure that they feel like they have a place to belong and that they have a support group on campus. We are looking to facilitate their success in the classroom, their personal growth, their persistence in graduation, and also their personal wellness. We're seeing a lot, as most institutions are, students are coming with some challenges, and we want to make sure we're meeting those challenges both in the classroom, but also their social and emotional challenges as well. So our focus within the idea of first year experience is going to be on our first year seminar. Our first year seminar currently is just a 1 credit hour course that all students take. And it is a pretty traditional sort of welcome to college. This is what it's about. Meet once a week, discussions, and then that's it. So we're going to expand that from 1 credit hour to 3 credit hours so that we can do a little bit more with them in the classroom and hopefully give them the time to build that cohort community that I mentioned earlier. We want to sort of double down on the experiential side of things, so getting students in hands-on activities, hopefully getting them off campus to do some things, because this experiential component is a big piece of our strategic plan. We have incorporated a requirement. All students have to do some sort of experiential learning component before they graduate, and so we want to begin the process here in the first year seminar. We're looking at incorporating a common reading, not the type of common reading that you might be familiar with, where you pick a book, you email it to the students over the summer and say, read this, you're going to come talk about it when you get here. We want to develop our own book that focuses on the history of UVA-wise, on our region, and allow that to be created on campus and then use that as our common read. We also want to focus on personal finance. I think this is an area of critical need for many of our students, particularly those who come to us at UVA-wise. We do currently partner with the McIntyre School, and I'm grateful for them. They allow us to use a personal finance module in our current first year experience course. But I really would like to go beyond that and make the idea of finance and wealth building central to what we do in that first year experience. So we're looking at some, I think, innovative ways to do that, which include real money, but I'm trying to figure out how exactly we can do that with financial aid and getting some seed money for that. But I would like to have some exciting news for you the next time we talk on that piece of it. The other thing that we're working on incorporating, which we currently do, and I'll pass around some examples of this, we use our iPads to good effect. As I think you are aware, all of our students are given an iPad and a smart pencil when they arrive. And as part of our first year experience, we have what we call the WISE Journey workbook. And this is something that the students work through. It's a planning document, it's a reflection document, and you can take a look when you have time at some of the things that our students are doing there. But it's a way for us to make sure that they're reflecting on the transition to college and thinking about how they're going to go from point A to point B.
Thank you.
The last point I will make is the acronym on the screen you can see there is COAL. I'm not sure that's going to survive. That's my attempt. But what it stands for in my mind is Cavaliers Own Appalachian Living. I think we have a great opportunity, and I know the Chancellor shares this, to really focus on where we are, which is a very special place. Actually, the photos that you see on my slides are taken from my hikes around the area. Actually, that's my front yard, that tree there. But it's such a beautiful area, and it's such an area. It's an area that has such a rich history, including opportunities, challenges, culture, There's so much, I think, that we can do with the place where we are, and we want to incorporate some of that into our first year seminar. So the students can reflect on, if they're new to the region, as I am, what is unique and special about it, or if they're from the region, really think about where it is that they grew up, and what does that mean, and how does the area continue to prosper as it goes forward. So these are some of the key things that are going to be in our first year seminar. And with that, I will turn it over to our next presenter, unless there are questions.
One thing you should all be aware of, so this visit from the SACSCOC on-site team will be next April, and they will expect some interactions with BOV members to make sure that you understand the college and how it works. So you might get a quiz on our QEP. They'll want to know that you understand what we're doing and why we're doing, and this just makes complete sense for us. You know, we're growing the enrollment, but we want to make sure that we're retaining students and that they make it to graduation. So that's really why we have this good focus on that first year experience to give our students a leg up so that they can be successful.
Is Recker Hardy's classes pass-fail? Because I understand he's a very tough grader. But I hope you're doing pass-fail.
I use a bell curve.
That's what I'm saying, I know.
I'll talk to the registrar.
Dutch compound option, there you go. So.
Donna, and Gary, thank you. I think the program that you're describing is terrific. You mentioned retention rates. I'm curious, what are they currently from first to second year?
So our first to second year retention was 74% this year. And we've been hovering in the low 70th percentile for the past several years. We dropped pretty precipitously right after COVID into like the 50s, but we're right in there. We aspire to get up to 80% retention, and hopefully some of this good work will help us to get there.
I agree.
Six-year graduation rate is about 50%, which is not uncommon for schools like ours, but not where we want to be.
Right. And it does seem like the retention from first year to second year is key.
It is. Yeah, when you're losing 25 to 26% right off the bat, it makes it hard to get everybody to graduation.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Okay, so Karen Carter, Professor Karen Carter has her report.
Thank you, everyone, for allowing me to be here to represent our faculty at UVA-Wise. We have been extraordinarily busy, so what you had in your packet was the full-blown version, so today you get the Cliff Notes. There we go. So our business department, and we were talking about earlier, that is going to have a nice visit in the coming weeks, as they had a huge competition with several winners and so forth. So the research on creating new jobs and so forth. So that's part of our development and getting students engaged. So those are those winners. And then we go into a poetry gene, which is a combination of a unique class with research from the science department, crossing it over with the English. So they learn to research their genetics, where they came from, sequence their own DNA. And read Frankenstein, how all those things came together. So it was a great class, a lot of research developed in backgrounds and seeing how interdisciplinary studies could really function and develop. We have a lot of grant development going on with our area schools. So we talked earlier about community engagement. So we're trying to bring that engagement with UVA-Wise and our area students and trying to make it to the point that coming on campus is just something we do, and we want to encourage them to come at any age. So we make sure, just like with our STEM development, when we bring our fifth graders on, this is going back even earlier. So this becomes a part of their everyday life, seeing UVA-Wise and part of their physical development, their nutritional development, and we want it to be a place that's hometown for them as well. So Dr. Chen is working collaboratively with LF Addington to bring our elementary school students into this with the program handbook. And so our students do work part of their teacher education prep program as well. Dr. Ken Teller, I will not try to pronounce that. My foreign languages in class in college were Fortran, Pascal, and COBOL. So I will let you interpret, but he is doing wonderful work in his research and the depictions of our development within this. So I applaud Dr. Teller, and I just love to hear him speak. And he loves to see me walk through algorithms sometimes, so we share. So with good reason, this is an interesting research that Dr. Melsner is using, and so we use this a lot with our my development as well. So I find this interesting to what it takes to crack the code on good and bad eyewitnesses. What do we remember? How do we remember those things? So we do this in modeling a lot too. So he has a podcast in development with students to figure out why do we remember some faces and maybe not others, or particular things about people and so forth. So helping them to do research and what helps them to draw that information out of our folks for eyewitness development. And this is one Wally Smith is our chair of the natural sciences, and so he's been doing a year-long research to reclaim the hellbender. I said, I will get that in there. So hellbender is that little guy there in the bottom left-hand corner. So he's a salamander that only lives in central Appalachia, so specifically in Southwest Virginia and Eastern Kentucky. So they spent a year with Virginia Tech, USDA National Resources, reclaiming an area right outside of Abington, going down I-81. We all came up it yesterday or day before yesterday. and when Hurricane Helene came through, it actually survived in most of their reclamation. So had it not been for much of the reclamation that Dr. Smith and his students had completed prior to that event, they would have had much worse. It was still bad along in Chilhowie, but it could have been much worse. And so we can see that the undergrads and collecting all this data and so forth had a great impact upon the region. Oh, time to go to class. We had a couple of Dr. Yosasia that works in my department. She took a couple of students with her to Seattle and to Albany, New York. And they presented on some language models and deferring computational developments beyond some of the things that her mathematical processes. I'm just like, wow, she is awesome, and helping us to figure out some of the turbulation and calculating the effects of a lift so that we can get our rockets off the ground. So it's an amazing process that they're working on. I've been working with a group of students from the Commonwealth Cybersecurity Initiatives. We just completed a cybersecurity review as part of a community service research with the Wise County Circuit Court, Mountain Rose Vineyards, and Farmers and Miners Bank. We did a cybersecurity analysis, and the students actually went out into the field and worked with these folks, gathered and said, this is where you're lacking, or this is where you're doing a great job, or this is where, so it provided them authentic learning in this process, and they actually got paid to do it. So it was good. It was a great portfolio development. And this young man and I have got another cybersecurity grant that we're looking at cyber intervention and artificial intelligence development. What are we doing at UVA Wise? And then comparing that to our sister institutions internationally. And that young man also just got accepted to Emory University to do big data language development. So we're doing great and wonderful things. So thank you. And any questions? We're happy to be with you, and thank you for all of your attention.
Thank you, Professor Carter. And now I would like to introduce our two student guests of honor who are here with us today. So we have Miss Lane Bush, who is the student member of the College Board and WISE, and she is a third-year student majoring in chemistry with minors in biology and Appalachian studies. And Lane was just nominated for and will become the secretary of the SGA next year in her 4th year. So, Lane, I'll let you get started.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the Board of Visitors, administration, and all others who are joining us this morning. My name is Lane, as you may have heard, and I'm here with
William Rudeseal, the president of the Student Government Association at WISE.
And we would just like to thank you all for graciously inviting us to represent UVA WISE's student body at this meeting today. And we hope to provide some transparency and insight into how things are going for us down in our corner of Southwest Virginia. As Chancellor Henry has previously mentioned in her report, it is no secret that UVA WISE is growing exponentially. with each incoming freshman class rivaling the previous years. It is a time of expansion, elevation, and establishment of UVA-Wise as the hallmark for higher education in Southwest Virginia. Not only are incoming freshman numbers increasing, but the addition of our new Masters of Education program has boosted enrollment and retention of both new and current students. As students, we are anxiously awaiting the final approvals of our Masters of Nursing with a Family Nurse Practitioner focus and our Masters of Data Analytics program, the former which will be housed in our newly renovated Pippin Wiley Hall, which is beautiful. As students watch these programs grow and come into fruition, they are crucial in cementing UVA-Wise as the place to be in Southwest Virginia. I hope to witness the expansion and support of more master's degree pathways being established at UVA-Wise. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to Chancellor Henry and senior leadership at UVA-Wise for championing the advancement of our college, as well as the support provided by you all here at the university and state legislation to aid in this expansion. To help facilitate this rapid growth, you may have heard UVA-Wise recently received its largest single gift from the Bill Gatton Foundation. The gift will have an impact of $15.7 million as the University of Virginia's Bicentennial Scholarship Program matched portions of this generous donation. The Bill Gatton Foundation gifted the college $11.2 million to establish funds to support multiple key initiatives, such as the creation of several new scholarship funds. It is this work and support from Chancellor Henry, our Vice Chancellor Valerie Lawson, and the UVA-Wise Advancement Team, the University of Virginia, and all of our donors who make higher education accessible for all of us at Wise, regardless of where we come from. I'll transition to show you guys some pictures of our student engagement. I would first like to highlight a new addition to our curriculum. So all of our freshmen are now required to participate in experiential learning. This heightened educational experience provides students with the opportunity to form a deeper connection with their communities, both at Wise and in their hometowns. This can range from studying abroad, internships, undergraduate research, or participating in community service through one of our specialized ACE courses. Not only do students truly enjoy participating in these experiences, but they bring their personal and educational findings back to Wise, further enriching our campus culture. Just to briefly pull from one study abroad reflection from a current master's student, Carrie Boyd, who traveled to Croatia. She says, "The trip was priceless. It allowed me to experience new ways of learning and truly understand the meaning of experiential learning. The benefits went beyond personal growth, significantly enhancing my professional development." She continued to reflect on her experience and how it will benefit her future career as an educator. She says, "I was able to broaden my cultural awareness and expand my personal horizons by traveling to another country. I'm going to be a teacher, and I plan to use my experience to teach students the importance of exploring these other cultures." As student engagement continues to grow with new enrollment and this new requirement, participation in on-campus events has shown similar patterns of growth with the help of our Director of Student Engagement and Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs. These pictures are from our fall semester, which was highlighted by events that promote community, fellowship, and our overall love for UVA-Wise. Expedition in the First Year Experience is our model for our freshman or first year orientation. All of our incoming and transfer students participated in 3 days filled with activities to help familiarize themselves with the resources at Wise. This included a big welcome party, family and friends send-off, excursions either on or off campus, and informational sessions. These excursions included swimming and ziplining at a local camp, hiking on High Knob, and even painting lunch liners and rocks to be sent to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. These excursions not only formed a deeper connection among the freshman class, but showcased the beauty of Appalachia and that is surrounding our campus and fostering our values of community and service. We also celebrated being in our Cavalier era. During homecoming week, we had a plethora of events, with 3 of the most notable being the lip sync battle, chariot race, and even a black tie casino night. That was my first time playing blackjack, and I'm not great at it, but I'm learning. Over 200 students participated in a costume contest, pumpkin pie eating, trunk or treat, and they could even go through a haunted house set up by our own theater department during our Halloween event, Scary on McCrary. The traditional lighting of Crockett Hall during the holiday season involved hot chocolate and even more glorious lights than in previous years. In addition to the beautiful winter scenery, the SGA gifted UVA-wise toboggans to the first 150 students at the event. Late night breakfast continued with an astounding number of students, faculty, and staff participating, with over 350 students fueling up on bacon, pancakes, and hash browns in preparation for the ever-stressful exam week. Not only has event participation grown by leaps and bounds, but the number of student-chartered clubs has reached an all-time high this year, in addition to participation in intramural sports. So if you'll look at that center bottom picture right there, that's an intramural team that is UNY students who will be coming up here in the fall. They're very good at soccer. It was very intimidating. However, we're not just having a party in WISE all the time, as it may seem from these pictures. Students were able to participate in Student Advocacy Day in Richmond last month, personally advocating for the college to our state legislators. These events are not just exclusively attended by one student demographic at UVA-wise. Students from 5 minutes away to 10 hours away. Our year-in-WISE students and our international students, we all come together at these events to celebrate our unified love for the college. There's something truly special about UVA-WISE. The way students come together as a family, supporting one another through every challenge and success. The sense of camaraderie on our campus is undeniable, fostering lifelong friendships and a shared passion for learning and growth. Whether it's cheering on the Highland Cavaliers, collaborating on projects, or simply enjoying the beauty of our Appalachian Mountains, UVA-WISE has become more than just a college. It is a home where students thrive, evolve, and build a foundation for a brighter future. Before I turn it over to Will, I just want to say how blessed I am to attend UVA-WISE, and I hope our love for our beloved institution radiates through its growth. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here today. Thank you, Madam Student Member of the Board, for your wonderful report. To start my portion of the report, I want to highlight the student-focused initiatives that took place on our campus in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. Even though the campus was fortunately spared from the worst of the storm and many students were home and safe with their families over fall break, students far and wide were impacted. Whether they were out of power, cell service, or had difficulties traveling back, the senior leadership and staff at UVA-WISE provided the resources needed to all students. For example, the Student Government Association and the Division of Student Affairs sponsored dinner for free at the cafeteria, regardless if you had a meal plan or not. Professors worked with students who needed extra time to travel back to campus, and donations were collected for students who were struggling the most from the storm. It was truly heartwarming to see our small campus come together to help the region that we all know and love. Furthermore, we were beyond grateful to receive support from our friends here in Charlottesville. I want to thank President Mendoza and the UVA Student Council for their passing of Resolution FR 2413. The resolution called for the creation of avenues to help donate to the impacted regions through the University of Virginia. Students from across Southwest Virginia, Northwest Tennessee, Western North Carolina, Georgia, and Florida were able to recover from the storms due to the donations through their generous. Also want to make sure I thank Chancellor Henry, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs Tabitha Smith, Director of Student Engagement and SGA Advisor Michaela Logan, Housing Director Julie Scott, and the rest of the Division of Student Affairs for working with us during this trying time. The ability for our two institutions to come together highlights the vision Mr. Jefferson had for higher education, that it should be accessible to all students, no matter the situation. And when tragedy strikes, we work together to ensure all students can still partake in educational opportunities. In providing a student enrollment update, I feel it is important to discuss the current climate of on-campus housing at UVA-WISE. As someone who actively works and has worked in various roles for the Office of Residence Life, I've been able to see the success and struggles that have arisen throughout my time at UVA-WISE. In looking at the current model of UVA-WISE housing, the Office of Residence Life looks to provide students with a welcoming residential experience through programming and interactive relationships with resident assistants. The ability to provide students with a great residential experience relies on the ability to have space to house all students comfortably. With UVA Wise's record enrollment and our numbers continuing to grow through different programs, such as our athletic program, Year in Wise, ROTC, and our other academic endeavors, it is no surprise that the demand for on-campus housing has skyrocketed. As you saw in the Chancellor's report, from this past fall, UVA Wise housed 640 students in all of our various residence halls. The ability to house this many students looked a little bit different as we began converting student lounges, taking out games, and putting in beds. We even converted the former director's house to student living, so students got to live in a house for the semester, and they've enjoyed that. Through all this change, UVA-wide senior leadership, the Office of Residence Life, and the Student Government Association have remained committed to making sure that our residential students receive the best possible experience that our college can offer them. And in helping ensure this experience, Chancellor Henry and senior leadership have actively been looking for answers to the demand concerning on-campus housing. UVA-Wise has partnered with Landstar to put a new modular apartment complex, which plans to house 32 students directly behind the Wise County Sheriff's Office, which is within a 90-second drive or a 6-minute walk to campus. Furthermore, the Chancellor has assured me that student housing is a priority as the college transitions to evaluating and creating its 10-year master plan. The commitment to providing a great residential experience will not only keep students in college housing, but will allow us to continue building the small campus community that we have all come to know and love at UVA-Wise. I would be remiss if I did not say thank you to our Director of Housing, Ms. Julie Scott, and the entire Residence Life team, and I promise I'm not saying that because I work for them. I look forward to continue to work with Director Scott, Chancellor Henry, and the rest of senior leadership to navigate this wonderful issue concerning UVA-Wise growth. In transitioning to talk about our wonderful SGA, let me make sure I hit the slide button. There we go. I appreciate every opportunity that I'm given to highlight the wonderful work our student leaders are doing on campus. As I tell our members often, SGA and student leadership can only go as our members go and do as our members do. I firmly believe that we have some of the best and brightest individuals serving as advocates for our students. It has been a pleasure serving alongside these wonderful people and help bring about positive change to our campus. Since being sworn in last May, there have been a lot of positive changes that have occurred within SGA. None more important, that is, than our wonderful student member of the board, Ms. Lane Bush, has made history for the first time at our college. For the first time, the student member of the board is on our executive board for SGA and shares an office with the SGA president again. In doing this, the SGA's relationship with the UVA-Wise College Board has grown immensely due to Lane's hard work and allowing me to work with her to build that foundation. I cannot say thank you enough to her as well as our board for being so receptive and opening to creating this relationship. Along with our new executive addition, under the direction of the executive board and myself, our SGA has been in a rebuilding phase. I can get the slide to work. Oh. We'll deal with it later. Through this past summer, I felt that we needed a logo that exemplifies what our SGA attempts to do, which is be a strong advocate for the student body. As you can see on the slide, we ended up with 2 new logos. Partly because I think they're pretty cool, but they do have some meaning. The inspiration for this design comes from a piece of the old Capitol that is located on our campus. When students see these logos, we want them to understand the organization is a foundational piece to providing support to students and advocating for them to the faculty and staff of the college. Core values can be found within the basis of our logo as well. Our values are unity, respect, and communication. We want our body to be one of unity that unites students on our campus together no matter their background, as well as unites our faculty and staff with our students. We want to be respectful of the responsibilities we've been given to serve as elected leaders of our peers, as well as respect the resources at our disposal given to us by Chancellor Henry. Finally, we want to communicate not only with our peers and the leadership team of the college, but also to individuals like yourselves who help make the student experience great. By being able to communicate and have important conversations, we can advocate and provide students with the resources needed to be successful. With all this in mind, SGA's had a record-breaking year concerning spending, campus events, and student involvement. The SGA received a 50% in budget increase, going from $35,000 to a little over $60,000. I'm pleased to announce that at this very moment, SGA has spent over 2/3 of his budget, which is way ahead of previous years. We've also set a record for the most spending in a semester at $32,652.74. At this moment, we have about $20,000 left. Within those funds, SGA has been able to advocate funding for students to go on various research trips, experiential learning opportunities, and other experiences vital to the UVA-wise student success. Along with allocating different funding, SGA has also been able to sponsor various traditional and new events on campus, such as traditional lighting of Crockett Hall, Cabinapalooza, as well as bringing back a favorite, Scary on McCrary, during Halloween season. We are also able to provide some new events, such as our Black Tie Casino Night, where Miss Bush learned how to play blackjack, as she stated, as well as our spring formal that will be coming up in a couple of weeks. We have also seen a major increase in student involvement regarding participation, not just with SGA, but with campus as a whole. SGA hosted approximately 25 to 30 events in the fall semester, and we had at least 40 students at each event. In total, that is approximately 1,200 different interactions with our students, which allowed for connections to be made and issues from students to be heard. Our body has also been involved in community service as we have worked with Wise County Public Schools to provide students with support and different resources to let them know that UVA-Wise cares about them as well in their educational journey. We are also in the process of creating 2 new committees to help better represent the student body, the Committee on Student Life and the Enrollment Committee. Our Committee on Student Life will serve as a liaison for all components of student life, from res life to dining options, as well as building and grounds. Our Enrollment Committee will serve as a direct point of contact to ensure that as we continue to grow, we can provide adequate resources not only for our incoming freshman classes, but students who are on campus as well. Overall, the support we have received as an organization has been absolutely fantastic, from Chancellor Henry and her team at WISE connecting with members of the UVA WISE board to the Board of Visitors. Our SGA and our students have not gone without. I want to thank my Vice President, Mr. Connor Blevins, Secretary Ella Cray, Treasurer Mr. Gavin Monk, and Ms. Bush, as well as our members, for helping me lead this wonderful organization and taking a dream and a vision and turning it into reality in such a short period. Finally, on a more personal note, I want to say thank you to the University of Virginia and UVA-Wise for the opportunity I've been blessed with to receive while being a student here. The opportunity to play the sport I love, be involved as a student leader, and receive a world-class education is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. If you had told me years ago that a kid from Northeast Georgia would call Southwest Virginia home and have the ability to interact with various individuals, such as the 74th Governor of the Commonwealth, important government officials, esteemed individuals of the board, and my fellow students, I had told you were crazy. I appreciate all of your hard work to ensure UVA-Wise is a world-class institution, as well as welcoming me to the grounds this weekend. I'm excited for the future of our 2 esteemed institutions. Thank you.
I think we have about 5 minutes left for our committee meeting, Madam Chair, so we can take any questions. And I must say, so the Rotunda Capitol that we'll refer to, so that is the only Capitol from the Rotunda that is off grounds, and it is on our lawn at UVA-Wise. So it's a wonderful addition, and it connects our 2 institutions. So, any questions?
I have one for Lane and William. I didn't catch your respective majors, and how would you say UVA-Wise has prepared you? And will you stay in Southwest Virginia, or will you expand from there?
I feel like I sort of see both sides. As a chemistry major, I'm aspiring to attend medical school, so did all the prayers I could get. I'm taking the MCAT later this year. So our faculty is amazing in supporting undergraduate research and preparing me in that aspect, but being able to study Appalachian studies from sort of an academic point of view, it's really shown the need of our area. I'm born and raised in Southwest Virginia, and it's truly opened my eyes to how much that our area needs served by medical professionals. And so I look forward to hopefully coming back to Appalachia and serving my people.
For me, I'm a secondary history education major, but I'm possibly looking to go to law school. But it's the same thing that Ms. Bush was just talking about, is being able to go into our local schools and see the need that is within our education system, but to see what UVA-Wise is doing with that. 90% of Wise County public school teachers graduated from UVA-Wise and have a connection to that. So we're outputting teachers at a high rate. A lot of our principals within Wise County Public Schools also attended UVA-Wise. So not only are we preparing our students, but we're also preparing them to go into leadership roles within our public schools. I'm also thinking about law school, and we have a great pre-law program as well. So UVA Wise does a great job of preparing us, and wherever we go, we're going to be successful. So.
This may be a question that cannot be answered in 3 minutes, but I'm going to plant the seed and you can think about it and you can email me or you can reach out to any of the rest of us. But what can we do as UVA Board of Visitors members to help students at UVA Wise? So I'll plant the seed. If you don't have an answer right now, think about it. And
I think there's two big pieces. Is one, we had some meetings yesterday regarding the Year in Wise program, and the Chancellor and myself and Ms. Bush have talked about that, looking at that program and seeing if it needs to have work done with that and making sure that we're not only preparing students to have a successful when they transition to Charlottesville, making sure that they're successful. And then I would think continuing to link our two campuses, a ability to create them. UVA-wise students can come to UVA and engage with the master's programs here. They're great opportunities, and I think that if we promote that to UVA-wise students, it's going to be really, really beneficial for both institutions.
Amanda, I would offer also, for those of you who have not been to Wise, it's imperative that you get there. It's really hard to help guide and direct Wise without seeing it, feeling it, experiencing it. It is truly an exceptional place. I love going down there for many reasons, but especially being from Southwest Virginia, but one of the reasons I really like going down there is that everybody down there is so appreciative of the opportunity that they have in front of them to get an exceptional education and to change the path and direction of their lives. It's a truly amazing place. And I remember when I came on the board in 2018, the school was in a little bit of a tenuous position. Enrollment, I think, was done at 700, 750, somewhere in there. The financials were not great, although the state has been wonderful in supporting the institution, and now the donors have come in, like Marvin and Marcia Gillum and others have really bolstered the endowment, and they've raised more than $100 million. The school itself has an endowment that's greater than a lot of small private colleges, and it's doing an exceptional job. But if you look at it today, it's truly one of the great success stories of UVA is UVA Wise, and that is now enrollment's more than 2,500. The School of Nursing is really phenomenal. As Marvin was talking to me, the business school is really expanding very quickly. It's become the second highest enrollment. Data sciences is taking off. It's doing something for that area of the state that the legislators down there had hoped for many years would occur, and now it has. And not only that, a number of these individuals are staying down there and making a difference, but also going out in the world in other places and making a difference. So please, as your rector, if you've not been to Wise, take every opportunity to try to get there. And you can start by, if you want to attend graduation on May 10th, Governor Youngkin's speaking, and we'll be getting people down there in many different ways. But that is truly a wonderful experience too. So Jim, I don't know if you want to add anything to that.
I echo everything you said. I mean, you can't completely appreciate it until you see it. And it will be one of the best visits you make. It's a remarkable place.
Stop and see Marvin and I on your way, because you have to go through Abingdon to get to UVA Wise. So either one of us would be
And
happy to host
hospitality
you.
of both of their homes is very nice.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Anything else, Chancellor?
Oh, I think we are wrapped up.
Okay. I will adjourn the Committee on Wise.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
That are potentially coming in the
Well done. Very well.
We just moved the top 3 STEM grants.